Good morning, viewers. Welcome back to the channel. I am Birdman Johnson. Today we are playing The Moon Sliver by one David Zemansky. He has a few other titles available, including Iron Lung, which I believe was fairly popular, last year, I guess? You better believe this is made in Unity, so we know pretty much what to expect based on the other content on this channel. We might get lucky. This does look like it's going to try pretty hard to be artsy, so hopefully that is survivable. Alright. Refresh your coffee, put on comfy pants. This thing is apparently meant to be completed in a single sitting. We'll see about that. Yeah, there we go. It is suggested you set aside an hour to complete it. Yeah, we'll see about that. Here we go. Okay, so the good news is we can move, and we can jump, and we have a flashlight. Is the flashlight? Okay. I'm looking at the ceiling. Ah, yep. That's a Unity horror game. Left click to interact. Issa was the oldest, and if not the wisest, certainly the most learned. She remembered when Josiah still lived, and she would sit on this crate and listen to his stories. Those memories, like so many others, were bittersweet. Tell me there is not something attached to every object in this room. Can I have this wrench? I can't have the wrench? What kind of game is this? Abel loved Issa, and he loved Daniel and Ellie, but when his mind wasn't turned toward their well-being, it was filled with thoughts of bleak hopelessness. Sometimes he would rifle through the barrel. The promise of undiscovered trinkets raised his spirits, if only temporarily. Oh boy. Conserve your flashlight battery. Oh, okay. Piece the story together. When nightfalls enter the what now? Ellie was a sullen and beautiful girl, the youngest of all of them, with a mind unfit for lofty thoughts. She had once come in here to see if there was any old firewood. Otherwise, she stayed in her cluttered house where it was warm and familiar. Okay, let's try to find Ellie's house, I guess. Since apparently... Enter the mountain. Since apparently we're just free roaming here. Yesterday, 4 people lived on this island. Now, only 1 remains. Ah, okay. We can jump. The video's looking a little rough, but we'll go with it. Ah! Okay. Oh, that is really rough. Can I fix that? Nope. Alright, we're just going with it. So we've got a couple of things here. We can see man-made structures in the distance, and also what remains of power lines. And there's something over there in the water, so we can always, remember, we can always follow the power lines. But first, I want to check out these structures over here, these ruined structures. Is it supposed to be running like this? We're old, Issa, said Abel, and we're getting older. We've been getting older since we were born, said Issa. She was always smiling. Abel never smiled. They reached the ruins and strolled leisurely through them toward the shoreline. Issa could remember when the old buildings still stood here, filled with families. Okay, so this is the remains of a civilization. Let's see, that's where we came from? That is choppy choppy. Maybe if I... Did that help? Not really. Okay. I keep hitting shift trying to run. We can go in here. Hello. What is this? It's a power outlet. Cool. Well, the island still has electricity. So that raises questions about those power lines. Ah, this is locked, apparently. Okay. If you notice, there don't appear to be any cables from those, structures over there. So there are, somewhere around here, subterranean cables. Unless, of course, it's being transmitted through the ether. No, thank you, I've already read this. You can take it away now. I'm sorry, he said, and he cried because he often cried during these talks. For what, she said. For a lot of things. I thought this was a horror game. These conversations were not new. Long ago, Issa had learned to love Abel despite and for his despondency. She hugged him as the wind tossed her long gray hair around. Can't? Okay, good. I can step out the corner there. Hello. There's something over there, but somehow I doubt we can get to it. Let's try walking into the water. Nope. Okay. Didn't think so. Alright, we'll finish checking out these structures and then we'll follow what's left of the electrical system here. These are bunkerish. A strange acidic smell emanated from the pipe. Interesting. Can I use that? Somehow? Notice that they've chosen to erect one of these right here between these two, what might be dwellings, might be utility buildings. Let's go inside and find out. Actually, is there anything... I'm stuck? Okay. Is there anything outside the buildings first? Nothing over here. Let's go inside. Issa kept a smile on her face, although she did not feel like smiling. Hello, free flashlight? She sat down beside the flashlight. What about Ellie? Has Ellie mentioned anything to you? She said. She didn't take it either, he said. Nor did I, and nor did Abel, she said, and yet, it's gone. Okay. What are these? Switches. Is there any further information available? The rusted junk cast shadows on the opposite wall. How do you know Abel didn't take it, he said. Because I trust him, she said. He's a dismal man, but he would never hurt any of us. Do you trust Ellie? Daniel didn't answer immediately. I trust all of you, he said, because that's how we have to live. The dry piles smelled faintly sour. Okay, there's... Okay, the text is now overlapping. Daniel, you're the last one I gave the keys to, said Issa. Daniel stared at the mysterious control panels. He didn't meet her eyes. He never met anyone's eyes. I didn't take it, he said. Why would I take it? I'm the one that told you it was missing. Okay, so we can't interact with these switches, I guess. Let's charge up our flashlight, go back outside. Let's examine this building. Is anything going to actually happen here? Have some coffee while we stand here in the dark. I'm saying that she knows more than she's telling us, said Ellie. Can I have this hammer? No? Can I have anything? Give me a thing with which to open the building. Okay, the overlapping text, very hard to read, Dev. The wood was older than anyone could remember, and it had rotted and fused with the floor. She keeps the chapel locked, and she's the only one with a key, said Ellie, leaning on the barrels and folding her arms. So you're saying she took it, he said. There's a chapel? My problem is that she's a liar, said Ellie angrily, fiddling with the knobs on the machine as she paced around. And that I have to keep explaining this to you over and over again. You don't know her like I know her. Exactly. You're not an impartial judge, he said. Books. What is your problem with Issa? Daniel said, putting his book down. He was annoyed at being interrupted here. Okay, so we're getting the text a little bit out of order here. Not sure there's any way to avoid that. That's a big old knife. Can I have that knife? Okay, that's everything over here, I think. Oh, there's a little structure here. Something involving the water? The mysterious liquid had drained from the tank and into the water long ago. Ah, this was not supposed to be in the water. Right, gotta remember that we can jump. This place was a forest once. Issa could remember the glorious living trees, barely. Alright, well, we can go over here. A little bit. Am I getting us stuck? No, but there is an invisible wall. Alright, so we're going to follow the power lines because we have no choice. It is very quiet here. Ah, I believe that is the mountain we're supposed to enter. Oh, hello. Bunker. Like a proper bunker. The night was wild and cold. The monstrous tracks leading from the hatch were brand new, but the wind quickly erased them. Can we go inside? We cannot. Very well. Oh, what's this? There were no spider webs on the skeletal remains. The last of the spiders died years ago. This does not bode well. I think this is where we're supposed to go when night falls. So we'll come back to this. Oh look, more structures. This was a bustling metropolis by deserted island standards. I think the water levels are rising. Path up there. These look like they're probably houses. Okay. Well, whoever lived here was here recently, I guess. They could make more candles. They couldn't make more wood, so Abel burned candles. Is this Abel's house? There is an evil man on this island, and I know him well. We played together as youths. We have cried together. We have eaten together. We have loved the same women, betrayed the same women. Good job, gang. He is my constant companion and my worst enemy. He puppets my arms, legs, and mouth to his own selfish ends. He's talking about himself very poetically, and secretly hurts everyone I love as I watch, helpless, with their unshed, unfelt blood on my hands. He gifts my flesh with indescribable pleasures and blights my soul with unutterable despair. His name is Sin, and we are irrevocably bound together. Surely there exists no hell worse than this. Dude, just stop doing whatever you're doing. Could the text fade a little more effectively? Oi, Dev, what are you doing? That's incredibly annoying. Alright, hang on. Does that fix it? Yes, okay, as long as I don't click on the note, we're good. Abel read to escape. Daniel read to feed his lofty, strange thoughts. Issa read to pass the time. But Ellie? As far as Abel knew, she hadn't opened a book in years. What did she do all day? He didn't know. Sometimes he worried about her. He worried about all of them. Were they as melancholy as he was? I think he meant for that to be melancholy. Oh. Nah! Let me into things. What childlike emptiness I feel to find the most peaceful solace in fantasy, to find in masquerades a truth more vivid than reality. What sort of twisted villains were the ancient writers to taunt us with unreachable worlds more beautiful than our own? We have enough stored food to live long lives. When our wood runs out, we will be cold, but only so cold as to be uncomfortable. The water is rising, but it will be many years before it reaches our homes. Technically, we survive. But to what end? This island is all the world we know, and it is nothing but the broken pieces of a fairy tale. So obviously, we're standing in the ruins of a crumbling society. Are we the last survivor? Are we an outsider? Who knows? Perhaps the game will let us know. There's smoke coming from there and there. We'll check. We'll just go around the circle. Let's not overcomplicate this. There's a fire burning, so hopefully somebody was here recently. She took the knife from the shelf. The blade was dull and rusty, but it was still pointed. She was not smiling. A murder happened here. Is that the knife we found in the utility room? Key. Okay, we'll check the note last. Okay. Issa didn't know what the object was, but she remembered her father tinkering with it in his workshop when she was a girl. The workshop and the adjoining home were now far underwater. She was not a young woman, but even now, seeing it brought her comfort. Abel came in. "How do I get into storage?" he asked. She shut and locked the box. "I've told you before," she said. "I forgot," he said. "I don't go there often." "Press the first 3 until they click, leave the 4th alone," she said. Okay. That might be... get rid of that. Get rid of that. That might be whatever that was in front of the bunker hatch. Okay, if I go over here and read something else, will that... I believe the word of Hector and the religious teachings that were passed on to me. Maybe the moon is still out there, hidden behind some cloud of darkness. And maybe the ones who went before us are waiting there. There's no way to know. We have to wait for death to find out, and truth be told, I am ready. I am ready for the beginning of a new adventure. Ah, he was smart enough to put all 3 messages in different places this time. Issa could not talk to Abel about her feelings because Abel was overburdened with his own, so she often sat at her desk and wrote. She did not know who would ever read her papers, but there was something profound about preserving thoughts so that they would live long after there was nobody around to read them. Huh. Well, this is definitely the definition of a walking simulator. But it's not a hallway. Exactly, so that earns it points. Abel often visited Daniel. He loved to talk, and Daniel loved to listen. Issa and I were out for a walk, said Abel as he entered. I thought I'd stop by before you got caught up in a book. Daniel put his book down. Hello, he said. His expression confused Abel. This is bad. Why would you put a naked light bulb directly over your bed like that? Daniel stared at the pile of wood. He hadn't burned wood for months. Let's talk about Ellie instead. Abel was silent for a moment. What about Ellie? He said. Daniel didn't need to answer. Abel swallowed. All right, let's talk about Ellie. Are we going to get any actual answers here, or is this going to be one of those things where they leave it deliberately vague to force us to interpret? Daniel took down the dead flashlight and replaced it with a fully charged one, listening to Abel talk and thinking unrelated thoughts. He preferred the sharp illumination of flashlights to the dimness of flame. I guess I feel that. Don't need our flashlight outside, though. Where is an outlet? Oh, there's another hatch over there. Well, we got one more building to inspect. We got a key. Well, we have at least one key. I don't reckon I can check the controls. But I don't think we have an inventory screen. Nope, flashlight's going down. Alright, hang on. Oh! Back inside. We'll make do with what we have. Ellie was laying on the bed. Daniel came in. She scowled at him suspiciously and beautifully. What were you and Issa doing in the old power building? What were you talking about? Only 4 of them here, and I guess they're going to kill each other? Is that the way this is going? Flashlight is unhappy. Fortunately, there's not much to examine in here. She glared at him. I'm going to get wood, she spat. Did you think I was too stupid to know, he said. I'm going to get wood. What, did you have your little romance square here? 2 guys, 2 girls, nothing else to do? It's dark. We need to charge the flashlight. Maybe over here. There's something over there. Let's check that out first. Sun's going down. Apparently we're supposed to go inside the mountain. Well, at least there's music now. Daniel sat with Ellie under the tree, his arm around her. Do you remember when we used to climb that tower over there, he said. I wonder how long before the whole island is underwater. What tower? That? Is there something I can... Oh, whoa, there's a shape out there, possibly? Thought I saw something, I don't know. The door had rusted shut. It would never open. See about that. Okay, well... maybe this way? Press 3, leave the 4th one alone. That's what we were told. Alright, let's go up here. It's still bright enough for us to see. I don't know if I need to click it more than once. It just feels good to click it a bunch of times. Oh, okay. That's all that's up here. Welp, let's go back then. Might there be some gameplay at some point? Could we have a little gameplay as a treat? Alright, what tracks? I don't see any tracks. Oh, because they've been erased by the wind. Right. The text informed us of this. Like that? Okay. Oh, no, I don't like this. This is a murder basement. Might we light a candle to have a more continuous light source so we don't have to recharge? Oh, there's music happening. Ellie was uneasy. The darkness had never felt this menacing before. It seemed alive, watchful. Are we, Ellie? The code is long forgotten. Nobody had been below in many years. Well, we could brute force it. If we have to, we will. You know I like doing things the unsubtle way. Anything in the dead end? There is not. Movement? Did I see movement? A family of rats lived among the crates of dried food. They were perhaps the last animals left alive. We could breed those rats. Inbred rats eat just as good as healthy rats, I assume. I've never eaten a rat as far as I'm aware. Well, this is very spooky, but if nothing happens, then it doesn't matter. Ellie? Daniel's voice echoed around the tunnels. Silence. Are we Daniel, or are we just remembering when they were down here, and we are none of them? She couldn't explain the feeling. It was as though something was lurking around every corner, staying out of sight, staying ahead of her. Hopefully that's exactly what's happening. Daniel heard soft, scratching footsteps behind him. He turned and shined his flashlight around the tunnel. Nothing. Also, I need a charge. I don't... Aha. Looks like I only need to click once. But you know what? I didn't come here to do this halfway. Okay. Alright. Charging the flashlight, it's kind of like eating and peeing. Do it as often as you can, because you don't know when you'll have the chance again. He called again. Ellie? Still no answer, but he heard the footsteps again. This is a long hallway. This is a big room at the end of a long hallway. That doesn't make me less nervous. Ah. We are not alone. I guess. Hard to say. Might we need to hide in a corner? She felt its breath before she felt its claws, and then she was gone. Wood! There's wood down here! Well, it's taken Ellie, whatever it is. So we're probably not Ellie. We might be Daniel. Kind of feels like we could just lock it down here if we could secure the hatch. For all the difference it's going to make, since apparently we're all doomed. Let's go grab a charge. No, it's too far back. Keep going. Forward, only forward. He didn't even have time to cry out at the shadow silhouetted in his flashlight beam lunging toward him. So we're possibly Abel or Issa. Can't take the tools. We could take one of these knives. Just saying. Alright, we have to go back where we came from. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. Does the flashlight ever actually go out, or does it just blink forever? I am not in the mood to find out. I'm just glad this thing's finally getting spooky. No, that is a room. This way. Pick a wall, stick to it. Nope, that's a dead end. I was right the first time. Interesting. Communal space, possibly? Well, no. Utilities. What is this structure intended for? She'd never... Where is it? She'd never felt like this before. She knew these tunnels well. She had been down here hundreds of times, yet she was lost. Lost, confused, and afraid. Well, I'm not sure there's anything down here for us, except some spooky noises and a lot of text. Is this going to take an hour? Well, the walking really pads out the playtime. That's how they get you. That said, it kind of is turning into a hallway game. Alright, did we already go that way? That's where we came in, yeah? Aha, yes. Well, the buttons still work. I wish to press that? Okay. Forgot what I was doing. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Alright. Well, maybe we're not supposed to go in there. Let's go topside. We can still go into the mountain, yes? I'm getting lazy. Just because the monster isn't actively chasing us does not mean I can stop checking my corners. The night was wild and cold, and it is murdering the frame rate. Quickly, let's go inside. Oh wait, we have a key to... There was a locked building. It was this one, I think. Yes? No? No, not here. one of these buildings was locked. And it wasn't this one. Can't really see what I'm doing now. Let's see, there's nothing down this way, right? No, just the trees. So it must be back where we started. This is just some kind of low wall. There's no evidence that this was ever a completed structure. Wow, yeah, the rain is doing really cool things to the frame rate here. This is almost a slideshow. Ah! Here we go, this is the chapel. Daniel was still thinking about his talk with Abel the day before as he absent-mindedly picked the book up. Something caught his eye, or rather, the lack of something. Why is this so well lit? The moon sliver was gone. Oh yeah, the thing from the title. O world, O prison dingy white, O ghostly shadow grey, your whelming lies a false delight, and are dark and cold as moonless night, and bleak as sunless day. That certainly was a rhyme scheme. Oh boy. The word of Hector won! The moon sliver was written by the pure spring rain upon pages of dried leaves, and found by noble Hector. The moon spoke to Hector, saying, "Take this, the moon sliver, and make for it a place in the chapel of infinite light. For it is a holy document. Man cannot read it, but its every letter is known to the demons of the night and greatly feared. Know that it will protect you, even should my light cease to bathe the night in holy silver. Give it a place of honor and treat it as a prized possession, for it is your weapon against evil." And so Hector took the moon sliver and placed it in the chapel of infinite light upon a silver pedestal, and the night was warm with light, and the day was bright with warmth. Did a good job of mimicking actual religious text there. I'll give him that. Word of Hector 4. Word of Hector 2. The woodland teeth, the monster of the forest, was more tenacious than the other demons. It hated the people of Hector, and desired to take the island away from them, and it lurked in dark corners and unseen passageways, scheming horrific schemes. It came to pass that Ursula was taken, stalked by the woodland teeth in the dark underground, attacked and dragged down to hell. Then the moon came to Hector in a dream and said, "Hector, the time has come. Your great enemy has arrived. You would all do well to tremble, for his power is great and his depravity is unspeakable. Go, take the moon sliver from its pedestal and do battle." And so Hector went to the chapel of infinite light and retrieved the moon sliver and went into the tunnels. Can we have a 3? Most of the text is illegible. Hector descended. Darkness, terrible whispering, infinite and deep, did not know how long he wandered, promises of brutal torture and mutilation waiting. "Begone, teeth of the forest," spoke the holy incantations written upon, returned to the surface. I need coffee. That keeps the heart pumping. Okay. Again, the moon came to Hector in a dream. "The woodland teeth is vanquished," it said. "Your people are safe for now, but it still waits, lurking in the depths. It fears the moon sliver, and it will not dare appear again while the holy document remains in your possession. But know this, should the moon sliver ever be destroyed, even my divine light will not be able to save you from the wrath of the woodland teeth and the darkness of hell. Keep it safe, keep it ready. And may you live in prosperity on this island that I have given you. Let your prosperity be a sign that the words I speak are true." He stared at the empty dais for some time, struggling to comprehend this simple, shocking fact. Had someone moved it? Issa, perhaps. She was the only one with a key to the Chapel of Infinite Light. But Ellie or Abel could have borrowed it from her as he had done, or taken it. Regardless, he had to tell the others. Well, Ellie and Daniel are both dead, as far as we know. Wow, that's loud! Well, there's only one more place for us to go. Over here, I think? Okay, here's a ruin. Okay. There's a ruin. Oh, my poor frame rate. Does anybody remember where the side of the mountain was? If I look straight down, it's not so bad. Nope, I found something. Unclear what? I found an invisible wall. This is terrible. Stand by. Okay, so with a little bit of effort, I was able to find where we want to go. That was awful. Let's go inside immediately. Issa couldn't remember the last time she had been under the mountain. There was no reason to come here, but she had looked everywhere else. She clutched the old knife in her right hand. Yesterday, the moon sliver went missing. Today, Ellie, Daniel, and Abel were all nowhere to be found. She knew the word of Hector by heart. The sinister implications were not lost on her. Okay, so we might be Issa. That seems most likely. Abel heard her and answered, "I'm here." There was something strange about his voice, something Issa didn't like. "What are you doing here?" "I am reading of ages past," he said. "It's the monster." "Do you know where Ellie and Daniel are?" she said. "I do not," he said. "They are missing," she said. "They are missing and the moon sliver is missing. Do you understand me? Do you understand what this implies?" "I do," he said. "Night will fall in a few hours and we need to stick together. We can sleep in the same house, mine or yours. We'll keep the fire burning. We'll keep the door locked and we will pray, Abel. We will pray to the unseen moon for mercy and protection." "Are you happy here, Issa?" "We can't stay in the dark. It thrives in the dark. Are you happy?" "Yes, I'm happy. Please, Abel." There were tears in his eyes and he struggled to control his voice. "Issa, I know you. I know every inch of you and I know every corner of your mind. You aren't happy. None of us are happy." Flashlight's not working. Issa didn't respond. "I'm staying here." The tears were flowing freely now. "I would like it if you stayed with me. Issa, please stay with me." "It will find you, Abel." "I let it out, Issa. I destroyed the moon sliver." Issa was shocked and silent. "I burned it yesterday after I talked with Daniel." Her eyes were filling with betrayed, angry tears. "It's taking us ages to get down this one hallway." "What? Abel, no. Why? Why do you want to be dragged to hell? Do you want us to be dragged there with you?" "We're already in hell. This island, this horrible, barren, lonely island, this place of sin, this is hell. I saw the blasphemous scraps of paper Jeremiah found those many years ago. I read them before they were destroyed. Perhaps I was the only one who did, and I did not believe them. But I have lived life since then, and I have seen the truth of their words." Issa could not respond as tears streamed down her face. She just kept walking toward the sound of his voice, the knife clutched in her hand. "You did not read the blasphemous scraps, Issa, but I did, and I remember them with incredible clarity, supernatural clarity even. Fear not the dark shadows or the scratches in the night, for the woodland teeth is your salvation. It is your escape. It said this and more, Issa. The woodland teeth is not here to take us to hell. It is here to take us away from hell." She could see him ahead, her flashlight beam cutting through the sickly fog. He was sitting in a chair, a book on his lap. As she approached, she could see that he was crying too. "I believe the word of Hector," she said, "and I will not go to hell. Please trust me, please." "I believe the word of Hector," she said again, and she put the knife to her chest, point first. "No, no, Issa, please don't. Stay with me. Don't leave me alone. Do it! Do it, Issa!" "I love you," she spat tearfully. "I love you so much." She closed her eyes and pushed. She remembered where the heart was located from one of her father's old books. Well, it's a good thing she knows where her heart is. Abel was too slow to catch her falling body. He knelt beside her and sobbed for some time. Oh, there's a light. He was not a strong young man anymore, but Issa's body was light. He would take her out to the water. She had always loved the water. But then what? Read? Read until it found him? No. He didn't feel like reading anymore. He was all ready to be rid of this entire cursed island, books and all. He would simply wander, aimlessly and freely, to take one last look at the island and feel the wind blowing the memories away. There was a light at the end of the hallway, and then when night fell, he would return. And wait. Ah, we're able. Okay. Hello? Hello? Zoop. Ah. That's very pretty, but what am I waiting for? Do I have control? Oh, I have control. Let's go toward the light, I guess. Morning dawned on the empty island, cold and bright and windy. Is that it? David Zamansky, Jefe Queso? I have to walk to make the credits happen. Boy, I wish I could run. Dedicated to Rachel Zamansky. That's sweet of you. The end. Is it, though? What now? What happens now, David? Hello? David? David! David! Okay, and that was the Moon Sliver, I guess. I don't even know what to say about it. I never know what to say about games like this. It was a walking simulator, there was a heck of a lot of reading. And not much really happened, so I guess fine as an art piece. You know, it'll be about 45 minutes of entertainment out of it by the time we're done here. So fine, whatever. What do I say about this? A horror game in the barest sense. More of an existential horror than anything else. I don't know. I got one other title by this guy that we'll be seeing on the channel, and I'll probably pick up Iron Lung at some point. It was very popular. I have minimal commentary to offer on this, so that is going to do it for today. Hey folks, thanks for watching. Thanks to those of you who are subscribed to the channel. Thanks to those of you who are not yet subscribed to the channel. And thanks, as always, to those of you watching this without ever intending to subscribe to the channel. There comes the music again, because you count too. Every view counts. We'll be back here next week with hopefully some actual horror content. I don't know. We'll find out. Dwarf Fortress on Mondays, lots of other stuff on the channel. Go check it out. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see on this channel, if there's anything you want me to see on your channel. I say it every time, but I don't know how many of you are getting to this point in the video. I want to see your stuff. Alright, I'm going to get out of here. Keep the lights on. Don't burn religious documents. And I'll see you next time. Until then, Birdman out.